Brock Lesnar is back.
And he hit Oba Femi with not one, not two, not three, but 4 F5s last night on Raw.
So now WWE has 2 monster matches on deck. Brock versus Oba and Roman Reigns versus Jacob Fatu in Tribal Combat.
And Clash in Italy went into just the first pay-per-view at Italy to an absolute chaos monster show.
But here's the question, Jeff.
Yes, sir.
Is the WWE building for the future? Or are they just feeding it to the past? Let's talk about it. All right, we are back. My name's Joe. This is Jeff. Jeff,
Yes, sir.
let's get into it.
We're back. Brock Lesnar's back. But should this match even happen? You know, Brock shocked everyone Monday night by attacking Oba Femi from behind before he could issue the open challenge for the week. He hit 4 F5s, made Oba Femi look human for the first time. It's the first time I've ever seen Oba Femi go down and stay down.
Yeah. Sold them very well.
Yeah. Heyman already handed Pierce a signed contract for Brock versus Oba at Clash in Italy. Now they're waiting on Oba to accept. I can't imagine he's not going to accept.
Right.
The surprise worked because it's, Brock's retirement felt real to a lot of people coming out of WrestleMania. Some of us weren't convinced, but the most of the wrestling community was.
At first I wasn't convinced. No. I don't know what's wrong with my thing. But at first I was not convinced. But then, as time went on, I was like, well, maybe he did actually retire.
Yeah.
So, I was pleasantly surprised when he came out. I was mostly shocked. I wasn't probably blown away like a lot of people are, or a lot of people were, but I liked it. I thought it was good. I thought the way he just appeared.
Yes. In the dark, out of nowhere, he didn't respond to the challenge.
And I think the cameraman kind of did it a little bit too, when he kind of freaked out and the camera went nuts. But no, I think they did it really well. Should he be back? Probably not. Should this match be happening? Probably not. But hey, why not? It's another great match for Clash in Italy. Go ahead and talk. I'm gonna see if I can fix this.
Yeah, no, I predicted back after WrestleMania that he wasn't retiring, that he was saying his goodbye to WrestleMania by leaving his boots and gloves and everything in the ring. And that everybody, we thought they were building toward a retirement match or a final match at SummerSlam. It's in his home state, Minneapolis, Minnesota. And the rumor was that Gunther was going to retire him, or would that be the last match? I definitely didn't expect an Oba versus Brock rematch. So with Brock Lesnar moving over to, not Brock Lesnar, but Gunther moving from Raw over to SmackDown and feuding with Cody Rhodes now, I just kind of put that out of mind and hadn't even thought about Brock Lesnar coming back and was completely caught off guard last night. I was surprised.
Yeah. Now, we'll talk about this later probably, but what does that mean for Clash, right? Is that, like you were kind of talking, if Oba wins, then what was really the point?
Yeah.
If Brock wins, then I guess they could set up a rubber match at
Night of Champions
or whatever one's next.
Night of Champions at the end of June, I think, is the next PLE.
Okay. Which then would free up for Oba to win that, which would then free up Oba versus Reigns at SummerSlam.
That you've been predicting all along.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Just going to throw that out there. Let's see. So, yeah. All right, we're back. Had a little technical difficulty, and then Jeff had a little technical difficulty. I unplugged some stuff underneath my desk, so everything shut off. But
and my brain unplugged for a couple seconds.
Apparently, his brain was also plugged into whatever my desk was plugged in.
Yeah.
So we just talked about the Oba Femi and Brock Lesnar stuff. We're going to move on now to the next topic. Jeff, let it rip.
Yeah, we talked about the Oba versus Brock rematch at Clash in Italy. That's not the only rematch. We've got Roman Reigns versus Jacob Fatu again. Last night or Monday night on Raw, Fatu came down to the ring, called out Roman. Roman, Jimmy, and Jay showed up, put a pretty severe beat down on Fatu.
Very heelish beat down.
Yeah, and then at the end, Fatu challenged Roman Reigns to Tribal Combat. So Roman versus Jacob Fatu, Part 2 at Clash in Italy, Tribal Combat. Where are they going with this one?
Well, so let's just clarify what Tribal Combat is, right? So basically it's no rules. It's a street fight type of thing.
Yes.
Except the winner will be the champion and the tribal chief.
And, well, if they bring out the Ulafala, they haven't been using that. But yes. Basically, the Ulafala is for the tribal chief. And this is only the third tribal combat in WWE history.
Yeah, but they've all been in the last...
They've all been in the last couple of years.
Year or two. But, so if the match type was around for 20 years, it's probably like the 74th time they've done it. Yeah. But yeah, basically it's a no rules match. The winner will be the champion and get the Ulafala to make them the tribal champion or the tribal chief.
Yeah, this was on top of, Roman. Pierce had planned to fire Fatu at the beginning of the episode. And before Jacob called out Roman. And Roman held it back and said, no, I need to get my piece. I need to take care of my business before. So after, Roman, he delivered 2 Superman punches, I think a spear. The Usos hit him with...
The Usos kicked him
a
probably
couple
1,000
super
times
kicks,
while
couple
his
double
arms
super
were tied
kicks.
up.
Yeah, so... And then Roman left the ring, went up to Pierce at the top of the ramp and was like, okay, it's your turn. Do what you need to do.
Yep.
And Jacob issued the challenge. Roman then pushed Pierce back and accepted. So that's another rematch. Where are they going to go? Roman could beat him again, but what does that do for Fatu? Again, looking at the Brock Lesnar, Oba Femi, if Jacob Fatu wins this one, does this set up a rematch, whether it, again, Night of Champions or down the line at SummerSlam, or, where do you see this one going? I know you're pulling for Fatu, but do you think the WWE pulls the...
My problem with this one over the other one, now the other one kind of makes more sense. Brock Lesnar wins, and then they have their rematch, retires, Brock Lesnar, Oba Femi just retire him for real, right?
Yeah.
At SummerSlam or whatever they're going to do it. This one is different because I can see them making Jacob Fatu the champion. I can't see them making Jacob Fatu the new tribal chief. Because you're going to end up with, okay, the fan is really behind Jacob Fatu right now, even though there were a lot more boos last night than normal. Remember what happened when Solo Sikoa tried to be the new tribal chief?
Yeah. It did not go well.
Yeah, he got pretty much booed out of the business or booed out of the building because nobody wants that. They want Roman's character is the tribal chief.
His aura. Yeah, he has the aura. The other wrestler, Jacob Fatu's probably as close and as over as Roman is right now, but he doesn't have that Roman aura.
Yeah. So I don't want to give away my prediction, but
we got to hold that.
I'll just say this. I mean, it's basically my prediction is I don't see them making Jacob Fatu the tribal chief.
Yeah, this seemed odd. I can see a rematch in this, but tribal combat now, it seems like if they're going to have a tiebreaker match, that one would have been the tribal combat match. So I'm leaning your way without giving away our predictions. So
read between the lines. But that match is happening, Jeff. Where's it happening at?
Clash in Italy.
Let's talk about Clash in Italy.
Let's do it.
Look at that transition.
Yes. You're better than I am at that. So no. But Clash in Italy, like I mentioned at the opening, it's starting to look great. Like, at first the Clash matches they always seem to take place in Europe. There's been some decent ones over the time, and the crowds there are more important than some of the matches in the past because of the energy. Yeah. But this feels like what Backlash should have been. A lot of the fallout from WrestleMania. We got a couple of the rematches. We've got a couple, the Cody Rhodes versus Gunther match. That's another big name match. All 3 of those matches could be PLE main events on their own. Yep. And now they're all 3 on the same PLA. And there's some other rumors. What kind of rumors are you hearing out there?
Just some random rumors just based on the way storylines are looking right now. Another Rhea Ripley versus Jade Part 2, which would be another WrestleMania rematch, right? Becky Lynch versus Sol Ruca, which they are fighting on Saturday night's main event. Yes. But it's in one of them stupid non-title matches, so I can see if Sol Ruca were to win that, I'm not giving away my prediction, you'll have to watch the next video for that, but if Sol Ruca were to win, then that would set her up for a title match at Clash in Italy, possibly.
Would they run both those matches back if they happened at Saturday's main event? Would they run them back a week later, or would they set those up for possibly build towards something at SummerSlam or, again, Night of Champions?
I wouldn't put anything past WWE. They've ran Finn Balor versus JD McDonough for the past 4 weeks in a row. So
I think Dom was in there once, but yeah, I know.
So who knows? Maybe they will, maybe they won't. I don't know. These are just rumors.
Yes.
Paige and Brie Bella versus Fatal Influence. Then I kind of added this one on here. Penta versus Ethan Page versus Javon Evans in like a triple threat match for the Intercontinental title.
Yes.
And maybe if the Judgment Day thing isn't done yet, maybe they'll just put all the Judgment Day members inside like a Hell in a Cell or a steel cage and just let Finn Balor beat them all up.
Finn Balor 2-on-1 versus Dom and JD.
Yep.
That could be crazy.
Maybe it could be Finn Balor and Demon Balor.
Oh, Demon Puppet?
No, Demon Balor, because they're different, just like Chad Gable and
You're right.
Americano.
I have never seen the Demon and Finn Balor in the room at the same time. So who knows?
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, this match went from, like you said, usually these cards are more, they can kind of put whatever turds they want on the card, but the crowd is usually so hot that it makes it seem great. But now we should have a great crowd with like a main event, like WrestleMania style card.
Yeah, these are WrestleMania, not WrestleMania level main events. Again, all in the same random PLE at the end of May.
Yeah.
On Memorial weekend. Or no, not this weekend after Memorial.
Yeah.
Saturday's main event is Memorial weekend.
And I'll also say this, right? WrestleMania night 1 was garbage. Night 2 was considerably better.
Yes.
Backlash was good.
Yes. Yeah.
And now this card looks good.
Yeah.
So that'll be like 3 PLEs in a row that have the potential to be great.
Yeah, hopefully they can keep up the momentum going into, we got another 2-night SummerSlam. We'll have Night of Champions and then SummerSlam. So hopefully they can keep that momentum going and really maybe SummerSlam will be what WrestleMania should have been this year.
Yeah, hopefully.
So, again,
hopefully.
although hopefully there's no more injuries in the next 8 weeks or so.
Kidding. But when I went to SummerSlam in Detroit a couple years ago, it was terrible.
Okay.
Awful. It felt like a house show. But anyway, let's move on.
Yes. So, lots going on with Roman Reigns. A lot of rumors online that, that he was one of the guys asked to take a pay cut and then he disappeared off of some of the June advertisements.
But then they put him back on.
But then they put him back in. He's been a face the last few months or a year or so. But again, what he did on Monday Night Raw with the Usos, it was very heelish. And while, Jacob challenged everybody and attacked everybody first, them tying him up in the ropes and just assaulting him over and over and over. It felt like a heel.
Yeah.
So what are they doing with his character here? Are they going face? Are they going heel? Are they doing something brand new with him? We still like the tribal chief stuff to an extent, as long as it doesn't get repetitive again. But are they trying to are they going to let Fatu maybe become the tribal chief and put something new with Roman? I
still just can't see Jacob Fatu being the tribal chief. I just can't see it.
Maybe he beats him and he rips up the Ulafala and says, I don't want it. I just want to tear down the tribe.
Maybe it's something like that, because he did have that thing where he said he's going to burn it all to the ground. So that's a good point. Maybe he does win and then he just destroys the Ulafala. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing with it. I like Roman Reigns. I like the Usos. I like the Bloodline. But I don't want the exact same thing that has already happened.
Yes.
But how do you freshen that up? I don't know.
Yeah, you've only got, unless you throw more new wrestlers
more
at them.
Samoans. Just put more Samoans in it.
Well, like an Oba Femi, or there's people they haven't gone with. But we talked about in the past, the Usos then stay out of Roman's business. They're there and they're a partnership, or they're the family, but they don't help each other. Roman doesn't win through interference and cheating all the time. But again, Monday night with them teaming up to take out Jacob doesn't appear to be going down that line. So, Roman did beat Jacob one-on-one with no interference, but he did use the turnbuckle intentionally. So, where are they going with this?
Yeah, I mean, Roman's definitely playing a heel, even though he's a face or a tweener, I guess people call him. The crowd still cheers for him. No matter what he does, the guy could he could kill someone in the ring and the crowd would think it's the greatest thing that ever happened. So he can really do no wrong right now, but he is getting a little boring. He's getting a little stale, only because everything is the same. He does it great. Cuts great promos, great wrestler. He's got that swag when he walks out.
Yes.
He plays the part well. It's just the part itself needs to change. And for once, I have no solution as to what they could do to fix him, because you don't want to turn him back into the big dog. So.
Yeah, and then maybe just Jacob Fatu just destroying him in their next match kind of sets him up as an underdog, and he comes back down the line, and maybe that's why they're writing him off. Maybe he's going to get taken out, and he's going to suffer an injury and he's going to come back and recoup, and they'll build him up as in sort of an underdog role.
Right, and that's what I thought was going to happen on the last the last one. I thought he was going to beat him up, take the title, but that was back when WWE said he was going to be gone for the month of June.
Yeah.
But now he's on. I think he's only missing 2 events now in June, from what I looked at. I don't know, but
they could have thrown it out there to cover their tracks, and maybe they are going to write him off, and they just didn't want to. They want to leave some guesswork out there. So
yeah, that would piss a lot of people off who buy tickets for that, thinking he's going to be there.
That is true. Yes. So,
last topic, Jeff.
Yeah, we're talking about Roman Reigns needing a new look, maybe, or new competitors. Well, we've got a whole new generation taking over the WWE. Oba Femi is being treated like a monster centerpiece. Again, he's got attacked by Brock Lesnar because nobody else wants to fight him.
Mm-hmm.
So Ruka has held her own with Becky Lynch in the ring, verbally, physically. She does things in the ring that most men can't do, let alone other women wrestlers.
She does have the LA Knight botch effect, though.
She does. She has slipped a couple of times, which is crazy because maybe it's just the nerves of being on the main event, because I've seen her hit that move in the Royal Rumble and other big stages.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing, though. I've seen LA Knight hit his move, too. But
yeah, it's just the last couple times we've seen it hasn't gone right. But she's just got the look. She reminds me a lot of Lita, with Lita at a whole new level. Lita was good for her era, but but that's who she reminds me of the most. We've got Ricky Saints coming up, Ethan Page, all kinds of new young wrestlers coming up. So
boring Fatal Attraction. Not a fan of all of them. That's the one I struggle with that one a little bit. But
the new Americanos, Bruto and I'm sorry, go ahead.
No.
But no, the WWE's they've started doing more tours. They're announcing more. Adding a few house shows back on the
which is great because they're also going to load it with younger talent.
Yes,
which gives them the reps, which is something we've mentioned
talked about over and over
multiple times to get these guys more reps. You can't just take a guy who performs in front of 1,000 people and then the next day he's performing in front of 40,000 people and expect him just to be perfect.
Or even the wrestlers that go to the Performance Center, they're practicing in front of nobody and then they're taking their time doing these moves. The house show has always been where Cody Rhodes and versus Roman Reigns, or the different they would happen in front of house shows over and over and over again, and then once they hit the main event of a PLE, they would call moves on the fly, but they had practiced every move 10 to 15 different times, and they knew what worked and what didn't work. They knew what got the crowd bumped and what didn't. So
So I don't know, but another Stephanie McCurr supposedly is coming back soon. There's some weird legal stuff with her with that. Did you see any of that?
I haven't seen anything there. What's going on there?
That's a different topic.
Okay, we can cover that off air maybe.
Yeah, I mean, she had a boyfriend that abused her or something.
Oh, okay. Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, no good there. So she'll be back. So, the roster feels loaded, especially like Bronson Reed when he comes back. And they get these guys back. And the problem they're going to have now, SmackDown's going back to 2 hours. Some people are just not going to have TV time again. You're going to run into another LA Knight thing. When he came out yesterday for his whole 3 minutes he was on air, that was probably the loudest pop of the night.
Yes.
It was a backstage segment.
Yeah. He was there to grab his luggage and leave, which is rumors I saw today as people are hoping that he goes over to SmackDown. SmackDown's lost some talent lately, some big names. Randy Orton's out. Gunther went over there, but
But they're cutting down to 2 hours, though.
Yeah.
So you can't just move a bunch of people over there, and then he's going to run into the same problem.
Yeah.
Right. You got to have your Cody Rhodes on there. You got to have your Gunther on there. I don't remember everybody who's on the roster, but eventually you get your top guys are going to take most of the time, and then your bottom guys just kind of lose out. So I think, to me, I almost feel like they need a third show, not NXT, but like Raw, SmackDown, and then something else.
Maybe they do more with Saturday Night's Main Event as the year goes on. Having it back to back with a PLE. Maybe they're going to do more there. Or they've got isn't there a Tuesday night main event, which was like the old Saturday morning wrestling where they just kind of filmed house show matches.
Yeah, it was almost
like that.
Wasn't it almost set up like a talk show kind of? It was like Vince McMahon when he was younger, sitting at a desk, and then someone would join him as a guest, and then they would just talk about stuff.
They would just talk about different matches as they happened. But, I'll take another night of wrestling as long as it's entertaining.
Yeah, it doesn't need, here's an idea, WWE. Here's an idea. SmackDown goes down to 2 hours. Raw loses an hour, goes down to 2 hours. And then you make a third show like on a Wednesday. That's 2 hours.
That could work. Monday,
So,
Wednesday, Friday.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Then you can load it up with different.
You know what else would work?
Loosen up the rosters a little bit.
Limiting commercials to 1 per match, not 2. Giving more time in those 2 hours for matches.
Yeah,
more wrestlers.
Well, last thing I'll say, I don't want this video to go.
Yeah,
super
my
long.
bad.
But when I was doing the new thing, my Raw recap thing that I do on Tuesday mornings, at the bottom I have a spot where I put all the matches. 3-hour show yesterday. You know how many matches were on the card?
3 or 4 at the
4.
most. Yeah.
4 matches in a 3-hour show.
And as much
That's
as I
crazy.
love the Americanos and it entertains me, like that's a
Yeah, that
AAA
was
thing.
one of them.
That's a AAA thing now. They've done that match 2 or 3 weeks in a row. Stop with the repeat matches. We made fun of the Finn and JD match, but the Americanos was another repeat match. Stop with it. We don't need to see the same match 2-3 weeks running. You have too much talent. Give them all airtime.
Yep. So what do you guys think? What would be the best way to solve this problem that WWE has now? Imagine all their stars come back and they're healthy. How do you give them all star time or all showtime? I mean, what do you do? I mean, you can cut them, I guess. AEW will just pick them up. Or come out with a third show. Think about it. Make sure you comment down below what you guys think. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe if you're not subscribed. And we have Friday night, our Saturday night's main event predictions. We'll see you guys then. Thank you for watching another episode of Wrestle Stop. If you liked what you saw, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell icon. You can reach us at any of the addresses on screen. And there's a couple extra videos here on the screen. If you liked what you saw, maybe you'll like one of these as well. Thanks for watching.